Yo, hello again, everyone. What is going on? Welcome to another live edition of Sports-O-Mania Plus right here on the Game Breaker Sports Network. It's in the Gamer in the Ring live on my YouTube channel. How's everybody doing? First off, happy Thanksgiving, and most importantly, happy Royal Wednesday. Cheers to everybody drinking tonight. It's a good holiday with turkey and football. Good combination. Welcome again for another week. I'm your host, Marcus. Find me on Twitter at MarcusLee337. On Facebook, on Instagram. Subscribe to my YouTube channel to watch this show anytime on demand. You can also find it on Game Breaker Sports website. Go to GameBreakerSports.net. You can find my content plus many other content involves sports and pro wrestling as well. Follow the Game Breaker Sports on Twitter at GameBreakerSportsNet as well. So again, happy Thanksgiving, everybody. Happy Royal Wednesday. We're going to be talking a lot of football today, but I want to talk about another type of football real quick. Just a quickie in and out of the way. We had another league phase in the Champions League that happened yesterday and today. Here's a recap of this phase here that happened. Barcelona beat Brest 3-0. Bayern beat PSG 1-0. Atletico beat Sparta 6-0. That's a lot of points. Milan beat St. Bratislava 3-2. Leverkusen beat RB Salzburg 5-0. Inter Milan beat RP Leipzig 1-0. Manchester City and Feyenoord drew 3-3. Arsenal beat Sporting 5-1, and Atalanta beat the Young Boys 6-1. From today, Celtic and Club Brugge drew 1-1. Sturm Graz beat Girona 1-0. Red Star beat Stuttgart 5-1. Liverpool beat Real Madrid 2-0. Lille beat Bologna 2-1. Aston Villa and Juventus drew 0-0. Dortmund beat Dynamo Zagreb 3-0. Benfica beat Monaco 3-2, and PSV beat Shakhtar 3-2. Your next league phase is going to be December 10th and 11th. And on the 10th, two of my three clubs that are in this league phase play. Celtic will play Dynamo Zagreb on the road, early morning kickoff on Paramount Plus. Bayern will play at Shakhtar, 2 p.m. start time. We also got Girona and Liverpool, Club Brugge and Sporting, Brest and PSV, Leverkusen and Inter Milan, Atalanta and Real Madrid, RB Salzburg against PSG, and RP Leipzig taking on Aston Villa. And then Wednesday, December 11th, Barcelona also on the road. They go to Dortmund, 2 p.m. start time on Paramount Plus. Atletico will play St. Bratislava, Lille against Sturm Graz, Feyenoord against Sparta, Benfica against Bologna, Arsenal versus Monaco, Juventus against Manchester City, Stuttgart against the Young Boys, and Milan taking on Red Star. That's the next league phase. And that's going to be the only league phase in the month of December. And after that, they'll have one more league phase in January. Well, they'll actually have two back-to-back weeks, January's 21st and 22nd, and then the final league phase before they get to the knockout round, January 28th and 29th. So that's your update for the Champions League. The NBA, I'm only going to get to the NBA Cup, how everything's are going there. Let's go back to Friday, November 22nd. The Pelicans have been eliminated from this group play of this tournament, losing to the Warriors 112-108, and they just recently got blown out by another terrible team in the Toronto Raptors. We can say the Pelicans are just straight up garbage this year. But the Houston Rockets could be a favorite to win that cup. They're one of two teams already to advance. This past Friday, they beat the Trailblazers 116-88. Sixers beat the Nets 113-98. Celtics beat the Wizards 108-96. Bucks beat the Pacers 129-117. Bulls beat the Hawks 136-122. Mavericks beat the Nuggets 123-120, and the Clippers beat the Kings 104-88. And then this past yesterday, Rockets beat the Timberwolves in overtime 117-111 to advance. Bulls beat the Wizards 127-108. Bucks beat the Heat 106-103. Spurs beat the Jazz 128-115. And Suns beat the Lakers 127-100. Next group play, even though they're already eliminated, they will continue on to play. Pelicans are going to play at Memphis against the Grizzlies. Knicks at the Hornets. Cavs at the Hawks. Magic at the Nets. Clippers at the Timberwolves. Pistons at the Pacers. Raptors at the Heat. Celtics at the Bulls. Thunder at the Lakers, and the Kings at the Trailblazers. What's going on, Justin? Tuning in. Game Breaker Sports Network. Check them out on all the watch-alongs with Circle of Debate. Thankful for a guy like you. Happy Thanksgiving to you and your guys. That one's for Justin. If I had to make picks real quick with this day of group play, I got the Grizzlies over the Pels. I got the Knicks over the Hornets. Cavs over the Hawks. Magic over the Nets, Clippers over the Timberwolves, Pacers over the Pistons, Heat over the Raptors, Celtics over the Bulls, Lakers over the Thunder, and the Kings over the Trailblazers. And then their next group play will be Tuesday, December 3rd. The Houston Rockets go on the road to play the Kings. Sixers at the Hornets, Wizards at the Cavs, Bucks at the Pistons, Magic at the Knicks, Pacers at the Raptors, Jazz at the Thunder, Grizzlies at the Mavericks, Spurs at the Suns, Warriors at the Nuggets, and the Trailblazers at the Clippers. I got the Rockets winning over the Kings, Hornets win over the Sixers, Cavs over the Wizards, Bucks over the Pistons. I took the Knicks over the Magic in that matchup, Pacers over the Raptors, Thunder over the Jazz, Grizzlies over the Mavericks, Suns over the Spurs, Nuggets over the Warriors, and I took the Clippers over the Trailblazers. What's going on, Jordan? Tuning in, my co-host of the Worldly Podcast. Happy Thanksgiving to you and your family. That one was for Jordan. So, one more thing left I got with the NBA in the standings of the Cup. Like I said, the Pelicans were the first team to get eliminated from this Cup play. Also eliminated is the Toronto Raptors and the Washington Wizards and the Utah Jazz as of right now. The only two teams already advanced to the clinch the division, the Houston Rockets and the Golden State Warriors. Rockets clinch Group A, Warriors clinch Group C. Meanwhile, Orlando Magic could take Group A in the Eastern Conference. Looks like the Milwaukee Bucks could take Group B in the Eastern Conference, but watch the Knicks in Group A. And then we got a three-way tie with the Bulls, the Hawks, and the Celtics of who could take Group C in the Eastern Conference. While in the Western Conference, we got a three-way tie right now with the Suns, the Lakers, and the Spurs to take Group B because A and C are already locked in with the Rockets and the Warriors. So that's all the basketball talk I got for right now. I don't have nothing on college. I think I'm going to kind of take a bye week on college. I might bring up something next week because I want to get to some football talk. This episode is actually named Turdunken. And you're wondering what's a Turdunken? Well, if you know classic NFL football during Thanksgiving, like John Madden back in the day, there was one particular Thursday night football. They were in New Orleans because that's where they came from. You saw John Madden and Al Michaels with this big ass turkey, but it was more than a turkey. They actually make these in New Orleans. I forgot what the name of the company is. But they make what's called a turducken. It's a combination of it's a giant turkey that's stuffed with duck and chicken. They got chicken breasts in there. They got some duck meat in there. Here's an actual inside of what it looks like. You got a 16-pound turkey stuffed with 2 pounds of chicken breasts, 2 pounds of duck meat. You see a little bit of cornbread stuffing in there as well. It looks absolutely fantastic. I've actually ate one of these before. And you're thinking we've gotten a Turdunken once for Thanksgiving? No. A company I used to work for once got one. And when we had our little Thanksgiving celebration with the company, we had a Turdunken and I ate one and ate some of it. And it was actually fantastic. Like, if you ever get a chance to try Turdunken, I'd say give it a shot because there ain't nothing more better than turkey and football together. And we got a lot of football this weekend. not just with the NFL. This is the NFL's holiday. Thanksgiving's for the NFL, Christmas is for the NBA. New Year's Day is mainly for college football. Major League Baseball got Easter, Memorial Day, 4th of July, all Mother's Day, Father's Day. They got all those days as well. But it's also Rivalry Week in college football. It's the final week of the regular season before they go into conference play. A lot of teams in the country play their final regular season games this week. Some get an extra week the following week, or if you're Army and Navy, you get another 2 weeks of play. Let's recap last week. LSU finally got a win. After a 3-game losing streak, they beat Vanderbilt 24-17 in Death Valley. And I'm going to say in fashion, I don't give a shit what people say. Before I even talk about that fashion, real quick, they're now 7-4 of the season, 4-3 in the SEC. Garrett Nussmeier went 28 for 37, 332 passing yards and 1 touchdown. Josh Williams led in rushing, 14 carries for 90 yards and 2 touchdowns. Kyron Lacey led in receiving with 6 receptions for 85 yards and 1 touchdown. Defense had a solid night, 48 total tackles, 24 solo, 1 sack and 2 tackles for a loss. They were rocking that gold look, and this was the combo they went with, white on gold on white. They haven't did this combo since 1998, and we're going to have a little debate here. I'm just showing this real quick because that's what they wore. A lot of people in the Tiger Nation have been bitching and complaining about not keeping the tradition of wearing our traditional look. As you can see, everyone knows this iconic look: gold helmet, white jersey, gold pants. You see it 9 times out of 10 at every home or away game. But being a lifelong diehard LSU fan and been to so many games in my life and being a season ticket holder, I could say I've seen that combo more than any other combo ever you can think of. That's kind of like that icon, that main look they have. They're kind of like the Dallas Cowboys, you could say. Wearing white at home, sometimes wear it on the road. They'll occasionally wear like this other traditional combo, gold on purple on gold, which it's not a bad combo. I used to hate the purple jerseys because back when I was younger, they would only wear that jerseys against in-state opponents or opponents they're going to like beat the living dog crap out of, like FCS opponents or non-Power 5 schools. Well, they've been doing other unique combos lately over the last like couple years, and we've over the years have even seen like some unique looking uniforms over the years, and I want to show my opinion. I'm going to go from best to worst of these like uniform combos here, and we're also going to look at some like unique looks that LSU has done a couple times a year in the past. So if I'm going to go from best to worst, we're just going to get this out of the way. I'm going to have to go with this as the number 1. This is our usual traditional look. It's very classic. We love it. You can't go any better than this. Now, they haven't worn this combo quite a lot lately. When I look back at the schedule from this year, they did wear this first 2 weeks with USC and Nicholls, and of course South Carolina. They also wore it against Ole Miss and Alabama. So they only wore it for 5 games. As of right now, 6 games this year, plus Florida. They've only wore this combo 6 times. Where on a normal basis, you might, in 12 games, I'll say 12 games, you might see them wear it 10 out of 12 times. And 2 times they'll wear that other traditional look. So I got that. Again, that's like my number 1 of like their greatest uniform look. This is the second best, but this is maybe my most favorite combo ever. And this will be the combo they're going to wear this weekend against Oklahoma. The white on purple on white. If there's any combo that looks so rocking with this purple, it's that white, purple, white look. This is my most favorite look with the purple jersey. Some people don't like it. They were already complaining online that they've been doing the white helmets too much and they've been doing different looks too much. Who gives a shit? This is my most favorite look with the purple jersey. I was lucky enough to see this for the first time in 2016. I've seen it a couple more times over the years, and this is the first time this season they're wearing it, this combo. They're going to wear it against Oklahoma this Saturday. I put this third, the second traditional look, gold on purple on gold, because that gold just blends with that purple. And this season, they only wore it once. They wore it against UCLA. Sometimes they would wear it twice, but this year they only did it once. Then this was a new look they debuted last week, and this was an old classic look they haven't worn in forever. This was the combo they wore last week with Vanderbilt. bringing back the gold uniform since 1998. I thought it was pretty neato. It blends really well. Even the stripes finally match with the pants and the shirt and the jersey. I love this so much. I would love to see them do this once a year with a gold uniform. Even if you put gold pants with it, or if you do this combo as like a permanent combo. I love this look. Some people hated it, but who gives a shit? I love it. I think they should do it once a year. And unfortunately, I was not lucky to see this in person. So hopefully they do this more often in the future. This all white look, I mean, it's not bad, but there are times where it could be enough is enough. I don't hate this look, the all white. It actually looks good in the daytime. It even looks good at night. They wore this back-to-back weeks against Arkansas and Texas A&M. I first saw this combo in 2015 against Ole Miss. So this was fun to see. But the last time I saw this in person, I saw them against Texas A&M, Jaden Daniels' final game at Tiger Stadium. And then you got this look. What the fuck is this shit right here? Gold helmet, white jersey, white pants. I've seen this twice. I saw it for the first time against Army last season, and then they did it again this season against South Alabama. This might be the least interesting combo I've ever saw. Like, this might be my least favorite. And these are the 6 combos. Well, I say 5, but I'm going to say 6 if they can make the gold jersey a kind of a once-a-year thing. Now, 4 times over the years, we've seen like unique-ass uniforms. Remember back in the day, Nike had what was called Pro Combat? LSU had 2 different versions of that in 2009 and 2011. Shockingly, these 4 unique combos I'm going to show you, I could have went to these games in the past. Unfortunately, I didn't go. This was the first. This was what they wore in 2009 against Arkansas. This definitely don't look nothing like LSU. It kind of looks like Washington, especially with how that gold helmet came out, but it looked badass at night. They wore this in 2009 against Arkansas, their final home game of the season. I could have went to this game, but I didn't see it. Now, this bad boy right here, they wore these in 2011 against Auburn. This was a huge hit. I think it was also the gloves that got so much attention. How could you not love these uniforms? Like, this is unique uniform they did. They only wore it once and they never did it again. And they did this in 2011 against Auburn. They said when we did that gold against Vandy, the last time they wore gold was 98. That was a lie. This was the last time they wore gold. This was in 2015 when they played Mississippi State. Now, don't get me wrong. It's not the prettiest uniform. That's more like a mustard yellow, mustard gold. I'm not big on the jersey, but goddamn, I love the helmets. I love the numbered outline they've done. Even LSU did like the traditional gold helmets with the numbers on the side instead of the LSU logo. I had a picture of it, but forgot to post it. But I really absolutely love those helmets. I would love if they brought those back. But those jerseys, I'm so glad they never did those again. I'm not going to lie. I wasn't a big fan of those. But the last time they did something super unique, 2019, or no, it was 2018 against Mississippi State, that like midnight purple. The numbers were like a unique pattern of the steady oak trees on campus. This was that helmet where it's purple, but if a light shine on it, it can turn gold. That was the crown jewel. That was one of the greatest helmets they've ever came up with. Unique helmet. I wish they would bring these helmets back. They have never worn these again. They purple, but if light hits them, they turn gold. Oregon Duck type shit. They wore this in 2018 against Mississippi State, and unfortunately, I missed that game. And I could have been there in attendance for that. But what's your favorite LSU uniform combo styles? I've told you mine. I love the tradition, but one of my personal favorites is that white, purple, white combo, the one they're going to wear this weekend with Oklahoma. Luckily, I'll be there again to see it in person. So that's all I got with that. LSU will play Oklahoma only for the fourth time in history. They've only played 3 times. They first met 1950. Oklahoma beat them. Then they met again in the national championship in 2003 in the Sugar Bowl. LSU won that game. And then their last meeting was in the college football playoff 5 years ago in 2019, where LSU beat the dog shit. It was like 63-20 60-something to 23 or something. That's what got LSU to the national championship against Clemson. So that's what we got this weekend. A shitty Oklahoma team that I ain't going to call shitty no more with what happened. Moving on, impact players this week in college football. Here's my top 5 impact players. And going to be from different schools, by the way. And then I'm going to have to pull up who these teams beat and whatnot. First on the list, I got Kansas running back Devin Neal. Kansas, we're going to big upset victory over Colorado. Devin Neal, 37 carries for 207 yards and 3 touchdowns. Then I got Syracuse quarterback Kyle McCord. Syracuse had a big win. He went 37 for 47, 470 yards, and 2 touchdowns in their victory against UConn. And next up on the list, I got Texas Tech quarterback Baron Morton. Texas Tech got a victory over Oklahoma State. He went 35 for 50, 366 passing yards, and 4 touchdowns in that game. I also got wide receiver Omega Blake out of Charlotte. They got a victory over FAU. 5 receptions for 205 yards and 3 touchdowns in that game. And then finally, I got wide receiver Pat Bryant out of Illinois. The Fighting Illini got a win over Rutgers 38-31. Pat Bryant, 7 receptions for 197 yards and a touchdown. Those are my impact players for this week. But so far, your leaders this season, offensive leaders, quarterbacks. At number 5, we got Shadir Sanders at 3,488 yards. At number 4, we got North Texas's Chandler Morris at 3,594. In third, Jackson Dart out of Ole Miss with 3,732. Second, Cam Ward from Miami with 3,774 yards. And leading in passing, Kyle McCord out of Syracuse, 3,946 yards. Your top 5 in rushing leaders. Number 5, we got Jacksonville State's Trey Stewart at 1,318. At 4, we got R.G. Harvey out of UCF with 1,458. And third, Amarion Hampton from North Carolina at 1,475. At 2, we got Caleb Johnson from Iowa at 1,492. And leading in rushing another week, Boise State's own Ashton Genie, still my pick to win the Heisman, 2,062 rushing yards this season. Your top 5 receiving leaders this season. At number 5, we got Eric Rivers from FIU at 1,055. Number 4, Ty Felton from Maryland at 1,097. Tiriara McMillan from Arizona at 3 with 1,251. San Jose State's Nick Nash comes in second at 1,291. And leading in receiving another week is Bowling Green's Harold Fanning Jr. at 1,295 receiving yards. Defensive leaders. Your top 5 leaders and tackles this week. We got a tie at 4th with Travion Barnes from FIU and Brian McCoy from Akron at 120 total tackles this season. At 3rd, we got Carson Schwezwinger from UCLA with 121. Buffalo's Red Murdoch in 2nd at 143, and leading another week from Buffalo in tackles this season, Sean Dolak with a total of 159 tackles. Your top 5 leaders in sacks. At number 5, we got Kyle Kennard from South Carolina at 11.5. At 4, San Diego State's Trey White with 12.5 sacks. A tie for 2nd place, Donovan Ijiraku from Boston College and Antoine Powell-Ryland from Virginia Tech with 13 sacks. And leading this season in sacks is another week, Marshall's Mike Green with 15 sacks. And then your top 5 leaders in receptions for this week. We got a 3-way tie for 3rd place. Michelle Powell from Miami, Mello Dotson from Kansas, and Jalen Catalan from UNLV are tied with a total of 5 interceptions for the season. At 2nd, we got Zaw Frazier from UTSA with 6, and leading the season with interceptions, Noel Williams from Cal at 7. A couple other hot news about what happened this past week. And all it was upsets. We had 5 huge upsets, and the upsets that even kept teams to even make the college football playoffs. It started with Ole Miss upsetting Florida, being upset by Florida. Then it led Colorado being upset by Kansas, BYU being upset by Arizona State, but I didn't call that. And then the biggest one, Alabama upsetted by a 5-5 Oklahoma team that prevented Alabama from scoring a touchdown, losing 24-3. Alabama is officially out of the college football playoff talk. And then to close it out, man, this was a fun game. Texas A&M upsetted by Auburn in 4 overtimes down at Jordan-Hare. Awesome game right there. And we might see more upsets coming. We're going to definitely see blowouts, but we're definitely going to see a lot of close games because we got rivalry week coming up. This is going to be the most college football games I'm going to predict because not only are we going to predict these rivalry games, we also got the FCS playoffs going on as well. So I got over 30 games. I'm going to try and rush them, even give a little history lesson. So last week I went bad record, 7-10. I'm just going to do these FCS predictions super fast. I'm not going to get into any ground talk. But I do know the playoffs are fixing to begin. 8 teams in the FCS, as of right now, got first-round byes. They will play the following week. These teams are South Dakota State, Incarnate Word, Mercer, Montana State, North Dakota State, South Dakota, UC Davis, and Idaho all got first-round byes in the FCS playoffs. So first we got Illinois State taking on Southeast Missouri. I took Southeast Missouri in this one. Central Connecticut and Rhode Island. I went with Rhode Island. UT Martin in New Hampshire. I went with the upset. I got UT Martin here. Lehigh and Richmond. I'm going to take Richmond. Eastern Kentucky and Villanova. I'm going with the Wildcats. I got Villanova. Drake taking on Tarleton State. I'm going with Drake. Northern Arizona taking on Abilene Christian. I'm going with the Wildcats. I got Abilene Christian. And then finally, Tennessee State taking on Montana. I got the Grizzlies in that one as well. So that's the FCS playoffs. And we got a lot of rivalry games, and it's going to start on Thanksgiving night. We got 2 games to predict on Thanksgiving. A couple games you're going to see on Black Friday. Let's start with a rivalry that's going to turn 100. It's 100 years of the 100th meeting. There is what's called the Turkey Day Classic. The original rivalry is between 2 HBCUs from Alabama, Tuskegee and Alabama State. Now, Tuskegee leads this rivalry. If you're talking about with Alabama State, they lead it at 48, 34, and 3. Alabama State only has a total of 45 wins total against other schools. Now, there's been other colleges that played in this rivalry. Teams like Edward Walters, Miles College, Mississippi Valley State, Prairie View A&M, Stillman, Arkansas Pine Bluff, Fayetteville State, JCS, and Clark Atlanta have all played in this Turkey Day Classic as well. But the rivalry mainly focused on Tuskegee and Alabama State. So this is the 100th meeting between these 2 Alabama rival schools from 2 different conferences. So I went with Alabama State in this one. I'm going with the Hornets. It's in Montgomery. It's going to be a home game for them, so I took the Hornets in this one. Plus, we got another Thanksgiving matchup in college. We got Memphis and Tulane. We already know Tulane's having another groundbreaking season. They already punched their ticket to the American Athletic Conference Championship against Army next Friday in New Orleans. So an extra home game for the Green Wave until we get to the playoffs, if they can make the playoffs. But I got Tulane in this one. I'm going with Tulane over the Memphis Tigers in this one now. There will be a couple of non-rivalry games I'm going to predict, but majority of these are going to be rivalry games. We got Oregon State and Boise State. That's also going to be on Friday. These are going to be our Friday games, these next lists. Oregon State and Boise State. It's Ashton Genie. I need them to have an outstanding game, so I got Boise State, that one. Then we're going to have the 134th meeting between Minnesota and Wisconsin, the battle for the Paul Bunyan Axe. Wisconsin leads this rivalry 63, 62, and 8. Badgers looking for their first win at home in this rivalry since 2020. So I got the Badgers. Then we got the 121st Egg Bowl, Mississippi State at Ole Miss down in the Grove. The Egg Bowl, I can tell you, it's played in 7 locations across Mississippi. They play for a Golden Egg. Ole Miss trying to go back-to-back in this one, so I got Ole Miss winning that. Georgia Tech at Georgia, clean old-fashioned hate. This is the 118th meeting between the Bulldogs and the Yellow Jackets. Georgia's won the last 6. Give me 7 wins for the Bulldogs. I got Georgia. Nebraska and Iowa, they call the Heroes game. This will be the 55th meeting. Iowa's won 8 of the last 10, but I'm taking Nebraska since they shocked me last week, beating Wisconsin, so I'm going to take the Cornhuskers in this one. You want to talk about another good rivalry in the state? In my state, we got the Battle of the Bayou, the Battle of the ULs, UL Lafayette, UL Monroe, Raging Cajuns, Warhawks. It will be in Monroe, 11 a.m. kickoff. This is going to be the 60th meeting. The Raging Cajuns lead at 32-26. Cajuns won 8 of the last 10. They're going to win another one. I got the Raging Cajuns winning over UL Monroe. And then you want to talk about one of the greatest rivalries in college football. We got the Gate. Michigan at Ohio State, 120th meeting. We know Michigan won 3 in a row. Ohio State won 7 of the last 10. I would love for Michigan to go 4 in a row, but something tells me Ohio State, they're trying to get prepared for Oregon. I think it's already locked in. We're getting Oregon and Ohio State in the Big Ten championship next week. It hurts to pick them, but Michigan hasn't been too good this year, so I got Ohio State over Michigan. Tennessee and Vanderbilt. This rivalry don't have a name, but it's the 119th meeting. Tennessee won the last 5, make it 6 in a row. I got the Volunteers. Then we got South Carolina at Clemson, the Palmetto Bowl, 121st meeting. South Carolina hasn't won this rivalry in 2 years. Clemson won 9 of the last 10. Now, I was going to pick Clemson because I thought it would keep Alabama. Try not to sneak in, but I think it's over no matter what, win or lose. Alabama's not getting in the playoffs. So I'm going to pick South Carolina. I got the Gamecocks pulling an upset on the road at Clemson. Illinois and Northwestern, two schools in Illinois. They're land of the Lincoln Trophy, or back in the day they used to call it the Sweet Sioux Tomahawk until 2008. This will be the 118th meeting. Northwestern's won 8 of the last 10 in this one, but I'm going with Illinois. I'm picking the Fighting Illini to win. Louisville and Kentucky for the Governor's Cup, 36th meeting, but the rivalry started in 1912, and there was a 70-year absence after 1924. They renewed this rivalry 30 years ago, and it's been going strong. Kentucky won the last 5, but I got Louisville with an upset. I wouldn't even say an upset. Louisville beats Kentucky. A little break here in rivalries. We got Kansas at Baylor. Jayhawks shot Colorado last week. I think they get another win. I got Kansas on the road. West Virginia and Texas Tech. This is a straight shot. I got Texas Tech. Back to some more rivalries. We'll talk about an iconic rivalry in the state of Louisiana. How about the Bayou Classic? Now, this rivalry has been going on for 75 years. They've had 75 total meetings, but only 51 times it was called the Bayou Classic. For 51 years, they played in this rivalry in the Superdome in a neutral site, except 2005 because of Hurricane Katrina. They relocated it in Houston, Texas, and then because of COVID, they canceled it in 2020, and then they played the 2021 game in Independence Stadium in Shreveport. So they've been playing for 75 years, but 51 years in the Superdome, or as the Bayou Classic. Southern's won 6 of the last 10. Southern wins the football game, and they win the Battle of the Bands. Southern goes to the SWAC to play Jackson State and for a chance to go to the Celebration Bowl if they can win the SWAC. So I'm going with the Human Jukebox and the Southern Jags, the Jaguars down in Baton Rouge. Give me Southern over Grambling, and I don't usually pick against Grambling, but Grambling's not too good this year. Notre Dame and USC, the battle for the Jewel Shillelagh. This rivalry's been playing since 1926, but they've been playing for the Jeweled Shillelagh since 1952. 95th meeting. Notre Dame's won 7 of the last 10. They're going to win another one. Give me Notre Dame. Big win over USC. Then we got maybe the biggest college football rivalry in the South. We got the Iron Bowl, Auburn at Alabama. It's the 89th meeting. They first met back in 1893. The rivalry ended in 1907, but they brought it back in 1948, and they've played every year since. They've also played it in 4 different cities. You know, Alabama's won 8 of the last 10. We've seen some iconic moments in this rivalry, including the 1-second kickoff pick six with Auburn winning, taking Alabama out of the hopes of a national championship. Auburn shocked us all last week, pulling it off with A&M. We got shocked that Alabama got decimated by Oklahoma. It's in Tuscaloosa. I picked Alabama to win it, but God damn it, I would love it if Auburn could upset Alabama. I'm going to be rooting for Auburn, but my brain's telling me Alabama wins this game, so I'm picking Alabama. Then we got Arizona State and Arizona for the Territorial Cup, 98th meeting. I think this cup now goes by series of who wins the most sporting events in a school year, or if they still play it for football. But either way, I got Arizona State winning this matchup. Then we got Arkansas and Missouri. Now they call the Battle Line rivalry. This is only the 16th meeting. And I love how they made this a rivalry since Missouri joined the SEC, and now they play for a trophy. It's not the best looking trophy, but I love how they have what's called the Battle Line. Whoever team, like if Missouri wins, they put a gold battle line in the middle of the trophy. Or if Arkansas wins, they put a red one in the middle. But I think after this weekend, there will be a gold battle line in the middle because I got Missouri winning over Arkansas. North Carolina State and North Carolina. This one's mainly for bragging rights. This is the 114th meeting. The Wolfpacks won the last 3, but give me the Tar Heels. I got North Carolina winning that. Purdue and Indiana, the 126th meeting for the Old Oaken Bucket. They're actually playing for a well bucket. They're playing for that. Purdue dominates this rivalry, 77 and 42 and 6 against the Hoosiers. Purdue won the last 3, but Indiana, this is the best I've ever seen Indiana, despite their ass kicking they got from Ohio State. I got the Hoosiers winning over Purdue. Florida at Florida State, the Sunshine Showdown, 68th meeting. They're just playing for bragging rights. They're not going to play for the Florida Cup because the Miami Hurricanes beat both teams earlier this season, and they win the Florida Cup. A little 3-way rivalry of which one can beat 2 teams. Miami won it this year. The last time the Florida State won the Florida Cup, 2013. Last time the Florida Gators won it, 2019. But in this rivalry, Florida State's won 7 of the last 10. They just got their first win last week since I think like week 3 or week 2. So they're like 2 and 10, 2 and 9 right now, or 2 and 10. But I got the Florida Gators winning. Florida didn't dominate lately. They upset at LSU. They upset at Ole Miss. They're trying to finish strong. They're now getting I think they also get a bowl bid. They're bowl eligible if they win, or I think they're already bowl eligible. Oklahoma, LSU, I've already talked about it. It's their first meeting since the college football playoff in the Chick-fil-A Peach Bowl in 2019. First time ever Oklahoma is coming to Tiger Stadium. And it's not going to be a pretty sight. Yeah, they got one lucky win over Alabama. They might give us some gray hair, but LSU wins this game. I can see it being a blowout. I hope it's a blowout, but we'll see what happens. I'm going to be there, and I hope they get this win. Now, they got a couple more games left to pick. This rivalry was once the greatest rivalry of the Pac-12. It was my favorite rivalry when they were in the Pac-12. The only matchup I would watch. Now they take it to the Big Ten. We got the Cascade Clash, the 117th meeting. Washington at Oregon. Washington won the last 3. Oregon hasn't won at home since 2018. The Ducks are fucking hot. They're undefeated, the only undefeated team left in college football. But I don't think they're going to win it all. but they will win this game. I got the Oregon Ducks beating Washington, getting this big needed win before they go to play Ohio State yet again, this time for a Big Ten championship. All right. And then speaking of one of the greatest rivalries, we are finally getting the renewal of one of the greatest rivalries in the Lone Star State. College game day will be back in College Station. We're getting the return of the Lone Star Showdown, Texas at Texas A&M. 119th meeting. The last meeting was in 2011 before A&M jumped to the SEC. Texas dominates this rivalry. 76 wins, 37 losses, and 5 ties. Texas wins big. Texas beats the shit out of them, heads to Atlanta to play Georgia in the SEC championship, and we get that rematch as well. Kansas State and Iowa State. This isn't a rivalry game, so I got a quick pick here. I'm going to pick Iowa State. Nevada and UNLV for the Fremont Cannon. Yeah, they play for an actual cannon, folks. This will be the 50th meeting. UNLV is looking to win 3 in a row, and I think they get that win. I'm going with UNLV. This will be the last rivalry game I pick, but I still got 3 more games left to pick. Virginia and Virginia Tech. They play for bragging rights. 105th meeting. Virginia Tech won the last 3 meetings. So I'm going with Virginia Tech to win 4 in a row. Marshall and James Madison. I'm going to pick JMU. Easy pick here. I got the Dukes. And then our final college football game, Houston at BYU. BYU's kind of been on a big downfall. This was not Houston's debut season in the Big 12, but I think they finished the regular season strong. I'm picking my alma mater. Go Cougs. They beat another set of Cougars. They beat the Mormons. They beat BYU. Whew. That's all the college football picks I got. Let me get a swig of this. Let me clear my throat. And now we can get to some NFL talk, which I'm not going to have much to say because the Saints didn't play last week. They had a bye week. I went 10-3 in my picks. That was the best I went in quite a while. Recapping week 12. Couple of numbers here as I get it up. Thursday night football. I love how it started clear and it ended in the snow. But the Cleveland Browns pulled it off. 24-19 win over the Steelers. Russell Wilson, 21 for 28, 270 yards and 1 touchdown in that one. Nick Chubb led in rushing, 20 carries for 59 yards and 2 touchdowns. Jerry Jeudy led in receiving, 6 receptions for 85 yards. Titans beat the Texans 32-27. Man, Texans, man, they ain't going nowhere. Vikings beat the Bears in overtime 30-27. Caleb Williams 32 for 47, 340 yards and 2 touchdowns that game. The best team in the NFC, the Detroit Lions, beat the Colts 24-6. Jared Goff went 26 for 36 and 269 yards. Jamar Gibbs led in rushing, 21 carries for 90 yards and 2 touchdowns. Michael Pittman Jr. led in receiving for the Colts, 6 receptions for 96 yards. Miami Dolphins, they're trying to make a sneak. 34-15 win over the New England Patriots. Tua went 29 for 40, 317 passing yards and 4 touchdowns. Devon Achane led in rushing in that game, 10 carries for 32 yards. Jalen Waddle led in receiving, 8 receptions for 144 yards and 1 touchdown. Bucks beat the Giants 30-7. Cowboys made a comeback and beat the Commanders, but man, did you see the ending of that game? Like, there were 3 touchdowns that were scored within the last minute. I said 3. Well, they Cowboys scored, kicked the field goal. Washington returns a kickoff for a touchdown and missed the extra point. They onside kick and the Cowboys recover the onside, scored touchdown and win the game. That was a crazy game. Jaden Daniels, 25 for 38, 275 yards and 2 touchdowns in that game. Kansas City Chiefs had a struggle win over the Carolina Panthers, 30-27. Patrick Mahomes went 27 for 37, 269 yards and 3 touchdowns. Kareem Hunt led in rushing, 16 carries for 68 yards. Broncos beat the Raiders 29-19. Bo Nix 25 for 42, 273 yards and 2 touchdowns. Packers beat the Niners 38-10. Seahawks beat the Cardinals 16-6. Thursday night football, Eagles beat the Rams 37-20. Congratulations to Saquon Barkley, set an Eagles franchise record, 255 yards and 2 touchdowns on 26 carries against the Rams. Monday night football, another good one. Ravens beat the Chargers 30-23. Justin Herbert went 21 for 36 and 218 yards in that game, while Lamar Jackson went 16 for 22, 177 yards and 2 touchdowns. Derrick Henry led in rushing, 24 carries for 140 yards. J.K. Dobbins for the Chargers at 6 carries for 40 yards. Flowers led in receiving for the Ravens, 5 receptions for 62 yards in that game as well. Here's some current season leaders as of right now this week. On offense, your top 5 leaders in passing: Kirk Cousins at 5 with 2,807. C.J. Stroud 4th at 2,875. Joe Burrow now 3rd at 3,028. Geno Smith 2nd at 3,035. And another week leading in passing for the NFL on offense, Lamar Jackson for the Ravens, 3,053 passing yards. Top 5 leaders in rushing: at number 5, Chuba Hubbard at 876. Jahmyr Gibbs at 4th at 886. Josh Jacobs at 3rd for 944. Derrick Henry in 2nd at 1,325. And another week leading in rushing this season, Saquon Barkley, 1,392 yards. Top 5 receiving leaders: at number 5, we got Zay Flowers at 789. Terry McLaurin, 4th at 823. CeeDee Lamb, 3rd at 841. Justin Jefferson, 2nd at 939. And another week leading in receiving this season, Jamar Chase, 1,056 receiving yards. Your defensive leaders, your top 5 in tackles: at number 5, Budda Baker for the Cardinals at 107. 4th, E.J. Speed from the Colts at 108. Roquan Smith for the Ravens at 110. Nick Cross for the Colts at 116. And leading in tackles on defense, Zaire Franklin for the Colts, 123 total tackles. Top 5 leaders in sacks: number 5, Will Anderson Jr. at 9.5. A tie for 3rd with Nick Bonito of the Broncos and Myles Garrett of the Browns with 10. Danielle Hunter in 2nd for 10.5. And leading in sacks this season, another week, Trey Hendrickson of the Bengals with 11.5. And then finally, your top 5 leaders in interceptions. We got a tie for 4th, Byron Murphy Jr. of the Vikings and Dante Jackson of the Steelers with a total of 4 interceptions. Marlon Humphrey at 3rd with 5. And we got a tie for first place of leaders in interceptions this season: Kirby Joseph with the Lions and Xavier McKinney of the Packers with a total of 7 interceptions this season. And before we get to our predictions, which NFL game are you excited to see on Thanksgiving? Because, we got those traditions. The Detroit Lions been playing every year on Thanksgiving, I think, since 1930. The Cowboys have been playing every year on Thanksgiving, I think, since 1966. What do you think of the halftime shows? For the Lions halftime show, we got Shabuzi. And for the Cowboys halftime show, we got Lainey Wilson. And then since 2009, they've had a 3rd additional NFL game on Thanksgiving. I know you guys are happy about that. So let's get to some picks. Week 13 of the NFL, Thanksgiving week. We got not 1, not 2, but 3 games on Thanksgiving. It all starts at 11 a.m. Detroit Lions on Thanksgiving. They're hosting Caleb Williams and the Chicago Bears. Not even going to be close. Lions, I've said, are the best team in the NFC. My pick to go win the NFC and go to the Super Bowl. Give me Jared Goff and the Detroit Lions. Big win over Caleb Fingernail, Peyton Ass Williams, and the Chicago Bears. Followed by another Thanksgiving tradition, Dallas Cowboys on Thanksgiving night. They're hosting the New York Giants with no Daniel Jones now. I don't even know who the starting quarterback is, but I would love for, you know who I'm picking. They haven't won a home game yet this season. I like for this to continue. I mean, this is their last chance to try and get a win at home. If you look at the Cowboys' remaining schedule, there's no way in hell they're winning another home game after Thanksgiving. I know the Cowboys are a favorite, but I want to see them with a winless home record. I got the New York Giants. It's after the Giants. They only got three home games left. Bengals, the Bucks, and the Commanders. Bengals might be another one on alert they could maybe win, but I'm hoping Joe Burrow can have the best game of his life that night. One more Thanksgiving game. This will be at night. We got the Tua Tagovailoa and the Miami Dolphins taking on Jordan Love and the Green Bay Packers. It's going to be a cold-ass night at Lambeau. Picking the Packers. Win that. For the second year, we got a game on Black Friday. This year, we got a division matchup. Raiders, Chiefs. It's in Kansas City. It's at Arrowhead. Chiefs win on Black Friday. Your Sunday slate of games. Texans and the Jaguars. I know the Texans have not been playing good football lately, but the Jags are more horrible. So I'm picking the Houston Texans to win on the road against their division rivals, the Jacksonville Jaguars. This game won't be until 3 o'clock in the afternoon. But Saints, coming off a bye week, they're hosting the LA Rams. We know our long history with them, especially the no call, costing them a trip to the Super Bowl, not calling that pass interference. Rams are not too good. They just lost to the Eagles. I think the Saints have been more confident since they got rid of Dennis Allen and we got Rizzi taking over as interim head coach. So I got the Saints winning at home. They get another win, and Rizzi remains undefeated as an interim head coach. By the way, Giants-Cowboys matchup is my toilet bowl of the week this week. All right, moving on. Colts and the Patriots. This was almost my toilet bowl of the week, but I gave it to the Giants and the Cowboys. I got the Colts winning on the road. Steelers, Bengals. This can go either way. It depends if Joe's Lyman shows up. I know Steelers got some issues, but I've lost hope with the Cincinnati Bengals. They need to Joe Burrow go play somewhere else. Give me the Steelers, and it hurts saying that. Chargers and the Falcons. I got the Chargers. Seahawks and the Jets. I wanted to pick the New York Jets, but I'm not falling for it. Seahawks have been playing a little better. I got the Seahawks on the road. Cardinals and the Vikings. Sam Darnold in Minnesota. Give me the Vikings at home. Titans and Commanders. You know, Washington not happy after that upset loss to the Cowboys. So I got Washington at home over the Tennessee Titans. Bucks and the Panthers. I almost wanted to pick. I wanted to pick Carolina. But Baker Mayfield and all them are going to find a way to win. So I'm going with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. This is my game of the week. You got a battle of the birds. Eagles, Ravens in Baltimore. This is my game of the week. I wouldn't mind if Ravens win this, but I think the Eagles are a little better. They might be the second best team in the NFC or the Minnesota Vikings are. But that's like my top three teams in the NFC right now. Lions, Eagles, and the Vikings. So I got the Eagles winning on the road over the Ravens. Sunday Night Football, this ain't even going to be close. Brock Purdy and the San Francisco 49ers taking on Josh Allen and the Buffalo Bills. It's in Buffalo. Probably going to be freezing cold, snowy. Give me Buffalo. Buffalo is probably the best team in the AFC right now behind the Kansas City Chiefs. One of them, too, I think is going to go to the Super Bowl and play the Detroit Lions. I like to see a Lions-Bills Super Bowl. Have two teams that never, ever won one. Try and win that first one. Hell, even have the Lions appear in their first one. And then finally, Monday Night Football, Jameis Winston and the Cleveland Browns taking on Bo Nix and the Denver Broncos. I'm riding with my quarterback in fantasy football. I got Bo Nix and the Broncos winning Monday night over the Cleveland Browns. And that will wrap up tonight episode. Thank you guys for staying up this late tuning in. I know y'all having fun and partying. Majority of us got tomorrow off. It's Thanksgiving. Again, happy Thanksgiving to you guys. I'm thankful for this show. I'm thankful for the Game Breaker Sports Network team. I'm thankful for all the listeners that tune in. Everything. I appreciate you guys. I don't have no more beer left to drink. I drank my last one. But I'm thankful for all you guys. I'm thankful for my family and friends. I'm thankful for my sports teams. I'm thankful for not just this show. I'm thankful for my other show, the Worldly Podcast, and everything else. So I hope you guys have a wonderful time spending holidays with your family, celebrating Thanksgiving. If you're going Black Friday shopping Friday, watching all the football you can watch, eating turkey or even a Turdunken if you got one, or a ham. Well, what you guys eating for Thanksgiving? I know I'm eating a lot. But this is going to be my last show of the week. Until next week, you can catch me next Wednesday, same time, same place, right here on the Game Break Sports Network. It's myself, Marcus, on Sports-O-Mania Plus. Happy Thanksgiving. Y'all have a wonderful weekend. Thank you guys, and God bless.